Stop scrolling. Some of these homes cost less than a new car. Yes, you can actually build them for under $50,000 in the right location with smart design choices and simple finishes. From tiny houses to steel barndominiums, shipping containers to off-grid earthships, today I'm showing you 20 real home types that prove you don't need a massive budget to own property. And later, I'll share companies already specializing in low-cost builds. Let's start with the most obvious one, the tiny house. Still the king of affordable housing, many tiny house models can be built for well under $50,000, especially if you purchase a finished shell and complete the interior yourself. These compact homes maximize every square inch using clever storage, loft spaces, and multifunctional furniture. Because they eliminate wasted space, material costs stay low while functionality stays high. Cost range: $30,000 to $50,000. Why it's cheap? Less square footage means less lumber, less roofing, less foundation. Trade-off: zoning restrictions limit where you can legally place one. If you prefer something stronger and more industrial, barndominiums with steel frame construction are another option. Using pre-engineered steel frames and stock floor plans, a basic shell can fall under $50,000 depending on size and finishes. Steel structures are durable, low maintenance, and quick to erect, which helps reduce labor costs. Cost range: $35,000 to $50,000 for shell only. Why it's cheap? Steel frames are prefabricated off-site, cutting labor by 20 to 30%. Trade-off: shell pricing doesn't include interior walls, plumbing, or electrical. Now let's talk about one of the most creative options, shipping container homes. Used containers already provide structural integrity, which dramatically cuts framing costs. A simple single container or small multi-container layout can be built affordably. They're durable, weather-resistant, and can be arranged in surprisingly modern configurations. Cost range: $25,000 to $45,000 for a single container. Why it's cheap? The container is the frame. You're paying for modification, not construction from scratch. Trade-off: insulation and ventilation require careful planning. If factory precision appeals to you, small modular homes are worth considering. Built in controlled environments, these factory-assembled units reduce waste and labor inefficiencies. While not all modular homes fall under $50,000 fully finished, smaller, simplified models or shell-only packages can reach that range in certain markets. Cost range: $40,000 to $50,000 for basic models. Why it's cheap? Factory assembly cuts labor time by 30 to 40%. Trade-off: transport costs vary by distance. Crane and site prep add $5,000 to $10,000. Now here's a design that's been cost-effective for decades. The A-frame house. Its triangular structure minimizes materials while maintaining strength. The straightforward design reduces construction complexity, which helps keep overall expenses manageable. Cost range is $30,000 to $45,000. Why it's cheap? A-frames use 30 to 40% less roofing material than traditional gables. Trade-off: sloped walls reduce usable floor space and furniture placement options. If simplicity is your priority, a small ranch-style home with a clean, rectangular footprint can also be built affordably when you stick to basic layouts and standard finishes. The single-story design reduces structural complexity and minimizes wasted materials. Cost range: $40,000 to $50,000. Why it's cheap? Single-story removes staircase costs. Rectangular shapes minimize waste. Trade-off: it requires more land than multi-story builds. For hands-on builders, DIY kit homes open another door. Several companies sell pre-cut packages that allow you to assemble the structure yourself. By eliminating professional labor costs, it becomes much more realistic to stay within a $50,000 target. Cost range: $25,000 to $40,000 for kit only. Why it's cheap? Eliminating professional labor cuts total cost by 30 to 50%. Trade-off: you need construction knowledge or you'll make expensive mistakes. Now here's one many people overlook, the pole barn house. Essentially a post-frame structure with a finished interior, pole barn homes are known for fast construction and reduced foundation requirements. The simplicity of the structure makes it one of the more economical building methods available. Cost range: $30,000 to $45,000. Why it's cheap? Posts anchored in ground reduce foundation costs by 40 to 60%. Trade-off: financing is harder. Many lenders won't approve post-frame residential loans. If charm matters to you, a small cottage design keeps things compact and efficient. With 1 or 2 bedrooms and a straightforward layout, cottages avoid expensive design complexity while still feeling warm and inviting. Cost range: $35,000 to $50,000. Why it's cheap? Compact size and simple roof lines reduce material and labor. Trade-off: limited space for growing families. And we're only halfway through. One of the most overlooked full home options is still coming up. But first, let me clarify something important. When I say under $50,000, I'm talking about the structure itself. That doesn't include land purchase, site preparation, foundation, utility connections, permits, or interior finishes in shell-only models. Budget another $20,000 to $60,000 for those, depending on location. Let's continue. Small bungalows represent another practical choice. Their single-level layout removes staircase expenses and simplifies construction. With controlled square footage and modest finishes, costs stay manageable. Cost range: $40,000 to $50,000. Why it's cheap? No second-story framing, single roof plane reduces complexity. Trade-off: larger footprint means higher foundation costs per square foot. Another strategy is purchasing a tiny house shell. Instead of paying for full completion, you buy the exterior structure and handle interior insulation, wiring, and finishes yourself. That flexibility allows tighter budget control. Cost range: $20,000 to $35,000. Why it's cheap? Buying unfinished cuts costs by 30 to 40%. Trade-off: DIY electrical and plumbing require permits. Mistakes aren't cheap to fix. If you prefer something rustic, a small log cabin kit can be affordable in certain regions, especially when using simplified designs. Log construction adds natural character while maintaining structural efficiency. Cost range: $30,000 to $50,000. Why it's cheap? Log kits arrive pre-cut, eliminating complex framing. Trade-off: logs require sealing every 3 to 5 years. For extreme simplicity, a studio-style home eliminates interior walls entirely. One open-plan living space drastically reduces framing and finishing costs, making it one of the most efficient layouts possible. Cost range: $25,000 to $40,000. Why it's cheap? No interior framing, one HVAC zone reduces mechanical costs. Trade-off: zero privacy, not practical for families. Now here's a factory-built variation. Modular tiny homes are produced in controlled facilities and delivered nearly complete. Because of factory efficiency, smaller units can sometimes approach the $50,000 range depending on specifications. Cost range: $35,000 to $50,000. Why it's cheap? Factory efficiency cuts build time by 50%. Trade-off: delivery beyond 200 miles adds significant cost. Emerging technology also deserves attention. Small 3D printed homes are becoming more accessible. While still developing in many areas, certain basic models have entered the lower-cost market. Construction speed and material efficiency make this an interesting space to watch. Cost range: $30,000 to $50,000. Why it's cheap? Automated construction reduces labor by 70 to 80%. Trade-off: limited availability. Few contractors offer this yet. If you're drawn to something traditional, small basic cabin with essential amenities focuses only on core living spaces. By removing non-essential features, you reduce costs significantly while maintaining livability. Cost range: $25,000 to $40,000. Why it's cheap? Removing non-essential features cuts costs immediately. Trade-off: banks often won't finance structures under 600 square feet. Now let's shift toward alternative structures. Yurts, originally traditional circular dwellings, have been adapted by some owners into full-time residences. With proper insulation and interior finishing, they can serve as low-cost housing solutions. Cost range: $20,000 to $40,000 with finishing. Why it's cheap? Fabric walls and tension ring structures eliminate traditional framing. Trade-off: local codes often don't recognize yurts as permanent structures.
Here's one many people completely overlook: shed-to-home conversions. Large, pre-built shed shells can be transformed into livable spaces for surprisingly low cost. Many shed manufacturers now design structures specifically intended for residential conversion. Cost range: $15,000 to $35,000 conversion cost. Why it's cheap? Structure already exists, you're only paying for conversion. Trade-off: most sheds aren't built to residential code. In certain regions, small adobe homes use earth-based materials sourced locally, reducing transportation and material expenses. When designed simply, they can become cost-effective and energy-efficient options. Cost range: $30,000 to $50,000 in suitable climates. Why it's cheap? Dirt is free or nearly free. Thermal mass reduces HVAC costs. Trade-off: only viable in dry climates. Moisture destroys adobe quickly. And finally, the small earthship. While large earthships can be expensive, very basic versions built with recycled materials such as tires and bottles can be constructed on tight budgets. These homes are often designed for off-grid living, reducing long-term utility costs. Cost range: $30,000 to $50,000 for basic versions. Why it's cheap? Recycled materials are low cost or free. Passive solar reduces energy costs. Trade-off: labor-intensive and permits are difficult in most counties. Now, if you're serious about exploring these options, here are companies already working in the affordable housing space. Tumbleweed Tiny House Company offers tiny house kits and plans designed for budget-conscious builders. Boxabl manufactures modular units starting around the $40,000 range for base models. General Steel Buildings provide steel building packages that can serve as barndominiums. Alternative Living Spaces focuses on container-based designs with various pricing options. Jamaica Cottage Shop sells DIY cabin and cottage kits. And local pole barn builders often offer competitive pricing for post-frame homes. And researching modular manufacturers in your region can uncover smaller units within your budget. Always get multiple quotes. Always verify licensing and insurance, and always confirm what's included in the base price, because under $50,000 often refers to shell builds or simplified versions, and clarity prevents disappointment. Now I'm curious, which of these 20 home types would you seriously consider building? Let me know in the comments. If you found this helpful, like the video and subscribe for more realistic low-cost housing breakdowns. Home ownership isn't impossible, it just requires smarter choices. I'll see you in the next one.